miss. Every target was missed. Every target was missed. Now the fun is extreme and the market is scared. Hold is starting to choke and they're blaming a bear. Then Chris Larson gets hacked and supporters are split. And I just read a thread that said payments are dead now. There's not enough devs now. Let me go. And then Bitcoin just hit 50K. What more can I say? XRP only makes me less wealthy. Took a cartoon bear's advice. Kept my eyes glued on the prize. But it's the same price today. Bankruptcy is calling me. I should never have clicked buy. 'Cause I think I might die.
Welcome to Coreum Concepts. Thanks for stopping by the channel today. It's an early morning, February 14th, Valentine's Day. I'm your host, Chris, reporting from the beautiful Monashee Mountains in British Columbia, Canada. That was a great little bit by Not Financial Advice. Sentiment is strong in the XRP community. If you want to learn about staking on the Coreum network or the Coreum Community DAO, just head to our website here, coriumcommunitydao.com. You can contact us also about appearing on the Superledger podcast. Pleased to say this week on the Superledger podcast, we're going to have Patrick Riley of the Ascension Index. Some of you might know him from the Reaper project on the XRPL. It will be a very interesting podcast, I'm sure. Lots to talk about with Patrick. Quite looking forward to it. I've been actually wanting to get together with him for quite some time, and I'm really pleased that it's finally come together and I can get some questions answered about what he's building over there. And I hope you guys will join us this coming Sunday, same time, same place on x.com. Okay, we'll check in with the markets here this morning. Total crypto market cap is at 1.869 trillion, up 3.24% on the back of Bitcoin pretty much. Gold is falling hard and is at $1,991. Silver, $22.02. DXY's putting some upwards pressure on things, 104.955. Coreum is currently trading at 16.599. And Sologenic, all on the weekly chart here at 16.52. Omniflix is trading at 24.6. XRP on the weekly chart, 53.270. And Bitcoin surging at $51,510. Looks like it's topped out at just shy of 52K. That red line's been there for a long time. I can't even remember what it's for, but just tapped it by coincidence here anyways. We'll see if it's going to come back down here and retest that 45,000 mark. This is on the weekly chart. Probably looks a little bit different on the daily, but same idea. It's going to have to come back for a retest here at some point. Certainly with a surge like that, just wiped out all the shorts on that move. So eyes on Bitcoin for the next little while. Checking in with the validators on Smart Stake Analytics. Coreum Community DAO, 3.3 million tokens, 32nd in voting power, 243 unique delegates. We have 3% commissions, and that goes back to the Coreum Community DAO to help build our community. Zen Lounge is at 35 million. Coreum locked up in first place on the voting power list. BitTrue in second at 29.1. Cosmos Station 23 million. 007 Coreum at 18.2. And Macy and Foster at 16.8. You can see here 301,734,057 Coreum are currently locked up, representing 53.9%. It's a little bit lower. Reason why we currently have almost 7 million Coreum tokens being undelegated. So eyes on that. There is a bunch of Coreum on the move. I want to check in with the Pulsera DAX here. It's just about at that 1 million in TVL, 169,000 in volume the last 24 hours, 1,500 active stakers. Sarah token is remarkably stable at 3.43 USDC. While we're here, we'll check in on the governance. Got proposal A0024, upcoming rewards allocation. That does close here today. Very strong turnout here today. 26.21% so far. Got 23.99% saying yes, 0.8% abstain, and 2.13% saying no. I'm happy to see the vote is looking that way. Atom pools looks like they are on their way to being incentivized. Obviously, the vote is not over yet, but closes at 2:24 p.m. today. And that's very important for the reasons I'm going to show here. We certainly want to incentivize Atom holders and people from the Cosmos ecosystem to see what we're doing here on the Pulsar DAX and the Coreum network. And these next few slides should show why. This is here from Dojmos. First 300,000 Kepler wallet users took 651 days. The most recent 300,000 users took 55. I had to double check, but the interchain is growing faster than it did at the peak of the 2021 bull market. So get your head around that. You know, we know some other blockchains here that the user base is declining, the devs are declining. There's something different going on here in the Cosmos ecosystem. Kepler wallet is just one of those signs to show that. Here's another sign. USDC, native USDC on Noble, $115.9 million. So that pool is easily connected to Coreum network. As you can see, we have Coreum USDC, Sarah USDC, and that 115 million is just an IBC transfer away. So that's some of the important reasons why we want to incentivize the Atom pools. So thank you to all those people that have voted in support of this proposal. I think it'll go a long ways into providing increased value to the Sarah token, and that is ultimately what we want. The higher TVL, the higher the value of the Sarah token. All right, and here's another one here. I gave a little poke at Kepler and Coreum here. Kepler has Validator dashboard, but Coreum currently not available. Hope we can get that soon. Checking in on the IBC network, Coreum, $111,340 last 24 hours. IBC volume in the last week, 664,000. Trading volume of Coreum still interestingly high, $2 million last 24 hours. Market cap of $92 million. Total supply, 559,890,000. Inflation rate of 14.7%. Currently got a staking APR of 27.5%. And there's 64 validators active on the network. We'll scroll down here. 6,079 unique delegators. All right, Greg Manarino's MMRI, Manarino Market Risk Indicator, is surging. It is at 280. Volatile times, you can see. Remember when we discussed it, shot up from here. Chances are that was a reversal point, and it certainly is looking that way. So that is going to definitely put pressure on the securities, and you can see gold and silver are being affected at the moment too. Fear and Greed Index is at 74 with a extreme greed rating of 79, highest it's been in quite some time. All right, here's some exciting news. The Edge wallet now supports Coreum. That's pretty big news. Edge wallet's been around for a long time, one of the first wallets out there on the market to self-custody your assets. I know that was one of my first wallets. I actually bought my first XRP with the Edge wallet using MoonPay, paid ridiculous fees for it, but that was my entry into crypto, was with the Edge wallet. Haven't really used it in a while. Might take a look at it just to see what Coreum looks like in there. Pretty excited about that. Last time I was there, They have a fairly exclusive list of tokens in there. So pleased to see Corium's there, and I will do a little update when I dive into that further. But as you can see here, Coreum announced, be on the edge of the latest Coreum wallet integration. Coreum is opening doors to IBC, XRPL connectivity, and revolutionary smart tokens for Edge wallet users. So interesting, they're talking about the IBC XRPL connectivity within this wallet announcement. You can send, receive, you can stake from it, and more features are coming soon. Let's take a quick look at it here. There you go. That's what Edge looks like these days. 3.3 million accounts, 130 assets supported. Okay, so it's grown a lot since I last used it. There was about 10 the last time I was there. So 10 languages in 179 countries. So it's private and secure to use. Cutting edge security, user privacy, and ease of use are the foundation of everything we build. Edge combines these features into one user-friendly platform for beginners and experts alike. It's got multi-asset support, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Dash, Dogecoin, and more. Exchange between assets, in-app buy, sell, and more. All right, so definitely worth checking out if you're looking for a good, secure wallet. All right, and a reminder here, Coreum posted that they are attending ETH Denver 2024. You can join the team for App Chain Day to connect, learn, and build across the Coreum and EVM. More than 750 event attendees and 20,000 conference wide. I've applied. I'm going to see if I can work that in after done at the Zen Lounge event in LA. Haven't quite confirmed that yet, but certainly working on it. Partner of the channel Z is going to be there. Coreum's going to be there. Welp, Cosmos has an event going on there. So lots going on. Might have to make the side trip, make it happen, and just see a little bit more of the US of A while I'm down there. Let me know in the comments below if you plan on attending either of those events, the one in LA for the Zen Lounge or ETH Denver. And speaking of Welp, they just announced here today, have you seen the new Welp DeFi Hub landing page? It's looking pretty good here. We'd love to hear your feedback, so definitely check that out, welphub.io, and taking a look at it here. It's looking pretty good. Swap tokens. You can see their vision. Install your wallet, fund your wallet, begin your journey. Got their GitHub, Twitter, Discord, and you can launch it here. All right, there you go. That's what it's looking like. Go to the swap. Question I had on X doesn't show it because of my screen the way it is. I was wondering about custom slippage adjustment. So yeah, it looks like it's coming together. March 14th is the expected launch date for that product. So keep your eyes on that. I encourage you to interact with their demo on the testnet and their launch page to learn more about it so you're prepared for that in March, just 1 month away. Here's a post from Elwin from the Coreum team. ISO20022 is one of the major standards for electronic data interchange between financial institutions. One of the biggest use cases, SEPA, is a real game changer, enabling EU residents to perform cheap and efficient bank transfers. The question is, how do we make available to the rest of the world? Come to the next workshop and find out. So I'm really excited about this workshop they're hosting here. I encourage you to sign up for it. It just runs on YouTube. It is 8 days from now, February 22nd, 10 a.m. And that is put on by the Coreum Developer Workshop. And this is going to be a very good one to attend, even if you're not a developer. It's an explanatory workshop decoding Coreum's ISO20022 integration, transactions, settlements, and smart contracts. In this explanatory workshop, we embark on the journey into the world of ISO20022 and its significance in the modern finance. Our primary aim is to guide you through the seamless integration of ISO20022 messages on Coreum and how Coreum serves as a powerful tool for transmitting these messages between financial institutions. What they will cover: clear and concise explanation of ISO 20022. Attention, all you ISO 222 people. Come hang out here, learn a bit about it. There's a whole lot of talk about this on X Spaces every day. Come on down and get a good education on ISO 222. We'll delve into ISO 222, its core functions and its operational mechanics, interactive demo with our ISO 222 simulator, witness firsthand how ISO 222 messages are exchanged in real-life scenarios using our customized simulator. I've used it, I've shared a video on it, it's amazing. In-depth exploration of the underlying mechanisms, uncover the inner workings of ISO 222 integration with the use of smart tokens and smart contracts, and smart contract brief overview of the smart contract code and its pivotal role in facilitating secure and efficient settlement of 222 transfers. All right, so prerequisites to fully engage with this tutorial, we recommend a basic understanding of ISO 222 as well as familiarity with smart contracts and smart tokens. So yes, definitely sign up for that. I will be covering that for sure. That's when I will actually be on the road to LA, so I'll definitely be taking a break from driving to participate in this event. All right, Jeremy Allaire, it works. I shared this because to me, stories like this is what's going to really bring mass adoption, and that's going to be relevant at the end of the video, where I have a clip from Charles Hoskinson from Cardano. Tolley says, and Tolley is co-founder of Solana Labs, award-winning phone creator. So it says, we did 20 million plus in sales with Shopify Solana USDC, paid zero fees. The credit card sales cost us over $600,000 in fees on about the same volume. That's 3 full-time engineers. So when you have a company going from $600,000 in fees to zero, it's going to catch some attention, and then you're going to see another company doing it, another, and that's where the mass adoption is going to come. It's going to come from the big institutions, and when it gets to the consumer level, these things will just be running in the background. They won't even know it's blockchain in the background running it. That's what I see coming, for better or worse. Encourage you to stick around to the end and check out the clip from Charles. It's definitely worth hearing. That's why I am sharing it at the end of this video, even though it will make for a longer video. All right, big news in Ripple world today. Standard custody will be able to improve existing product offerings for our customers, as well as explore new products and use cases, all in a fully compliant way. To date, Ripple has secured nearly 40 US money transmitter licenses, MPI licenses from Monetary Authority of Singapore, and vast registration with Central Bank of Ireland and counting. So they have bought out standard custody, so that's interesting. It definitely has ties to PolySign, and Dark Horse shared this clip here. Ripple acquires PolySign, standard custody, same thing. This is great news for another custody partner for Ripple, or is it to save the failing PolySign? Let's hear what Jack McDonald has to say.
At Standard Custody, we built our business specifically to avoid any conflicts. So we are exclusively focused on providing custody and escrow services. We don't provide any trading functions or staking or lending or borrowing or market making, et cetera. And so I think as you watch this industry unfold, you will see more pure play custodians like Standard Custody be selected by the issuers, and then we will work in concert with market surveillance partners to provide that very important surveillance sharing agreement that the regulators seem to require.
All right, so that's interesting enough, but this is where it gets really interesting. Standard Custody and Trust Company, one executive, Arthur Brito. For those in the XRP community, I'm sure you've heard of Arthur Brito. I found it interesting that he is the one team member on the management team of Standard Custody and Trust. Just another bit of the story as the drama unfolds in the XRPL and XRP Ripple saga. Okay, and this past weekend on the Superlarger podcast, Anoto Finance was on the show, and he's got a great platform here for currently a demo on what the AMM pools are going to look like on his platform, Anotos.finance. And just really cool to see the new features that are part of the AMM and how he's incorporated them into this platform. I encourage you to check it out. This isn't the live version of it. This is just a slide with some key features. One thing I like to see is the fees earned when you're liquidity providing. Look at, you can see they're earning both tokens that are in the pool, earning XRP and USDC by providing liquidity. So that's interesting. Got the analytics, that's looking nice. Continuous auction, that's obviously the key feature that David speaks about a lot. You can participate on ongoing auctions for a chance to trade with discounted fees, unlocking profitable arbitrage opportunities on the platform. You should bid above the minimum bid specified in order for your bid to successfully go through. So that's going to be interesting for the market makers, and those fees are going to help offset the impermanent loss potential of providing liquidity. And then this is the other feature, single-sided staking. So you can just deposit one asset, it's going to split it in two for you to support that pool that you want to participate in. So if you haven't checked that out, really encourage you to do so. Nice and clean, and you can get some practice funds to play with that and get the feel for providing liquidity if you haven't done so already. I'll definitely be checking out this platform when it goes live. I have a little bit of XRP I think I'll dedicate to playing on this beautiful tool that he's built there at Anoto Finance. And great guy. If you haven't checked out the interview, please do. It was last Sunday, episode 12 on the Superledger podcast. And partner of the channel here, Zeev. They are obviously heading to Denver, and I'm hoping I can hook up with them there. But just before that, here on February 15th, you say they are unveiling the secrets of oracles and rollups with Redstone DeFi, decentralized oracles integration partner. Click the link below and join Dr. Ravi as he hosts Redstone to discuss data, scalability, innovation, and rollups and oracles. And that's on an X Space on the 15th of February, and that's 8:30 a.m. Pacific time. Looking forward to that. And that's going to wrap it up for today. I will close out the video with the last 6 minutes of this Charles Hoskinson video. This is an important message that he has in here. I think it's worth listening to. It's easy to get caught up in the FOMO and the excitement of the price going up, but there's another side of this story that does get left out in moments like this. And this video he called Legacy is Eating Crypto. And I tend to agree with him on this. I don't have any Cardano, but Charles is a very powerful thought leader in this space. He's one of the original OGs, so his opinion is worth hearing, even if at times you don't agree with it. So I'm going to share this. Thank you for all your support. It's going to wrap it up today. I will do a live stream tonight. We'll dive into things a little bit longer. Peace and prosperity to you all.
Why the hell are you here? I get real tired of being called a charlatan. I'm getting real tired of being called a con man and incompetent. And I'm getting real tired every single day carrying the weight on the back of telling the truth about where we're going as an industry, whether it be decentralization or the lack thereof, the consequences of the legacy financial industry coming in and what they do, and the idiocy of Team Orange and how everything but them is a scam, but then they hand their entire kingdom over to the very bankers that spawned Bitcoin from their malfeasance. We as an industry need to take a step back, take a deep breath, and really ask ourselves, why are we here? What's the point of these things? And are we as an industry, because of avarice, so prepared to hand away what makes the industry special, unique, and frankly, sustainable to the very people that we were trying to get away from because number go up? It's important that we understand that every decision has consequences, positive and negative. Every single approach has trade-offs. Nothing is free in life. And every single thing we do, we have to ask ourselves, does this move us closer to a more egalitarian, a more fair and transparent world? Or does this move us closer to the very people we started trying to run away from as an industry? Every time you hand your custody, decision, your voice, your hash power, your voting power to a centralized entity, you are restoring an order that we were trying to usurp. Every single time you create an actor who you have a dependency upon, you remove the promise of Web3. whether it be OpenSea or Infura or Alchemy or any of these services of convenience, whether it be being in an exchange to custody your coins and let them vote with it and stake with it, or it be embracing an asset-backed stablecoin over an algorithmic one, you're making a decision that it's okay to be centralized. And that's a personal choice. And that might be because you don't care about cryptocurrency philosophy. You have no desire at all about any of the values and principles that this entire industry was formed upon. Okay, that's a fair point. You can't be a libertarian and then judge people for having a difference of opinion. But do understand that the consequences are that these assets are now no different from the legacy assets we sought to replace. They're just basically a different flavor, okay? You've replaced the cane sugar with high fructose corn syrup. You're going in the opposite direction. So do understand that and do understand these things. And that's why I speak out about it. I am, as I said, getting a little tired about it, especially where there's just none of the other prominent leaders coming forward and really expressing themselves. Because you notice little by little, they start doing business with these same firms. Little by little, they start building relationships with these firms. Why? Because they're made men and they want to keep the fortunes that they've made. And that's their decision and their prerogative. And I guess from time to time, I have to be the guy out on the island and tell people, well, I have some concerns. I absolutely have concerns that 10 actors together get to decide right now the direction and fate of cryptocurrencies by how they upgrade, which ones are valuable, and which ones have liquidity. And I am deeply concerned that over the arc of time, the next 5 or 10 years, we're going to see stringent KYC and AML put on every wallet. We're going to see a boatload of CBDCs entering our space and being treated like cryptocurrencies, and everything move towards a permissioned invitation-only system. And we're going to see wholesale deplatforming of some of the most vulnerable people because they just happen to live in the wrong geographies or happen to live under the wrong governments. It's unethical and immoral to remove the economic identity and agency of. It's wrong. It's always been wrong, always will be wrong. I, for one, am here for freedom of association, commerce, and expression. I believe you should be able to have the thoughts that are in your head without them being criminalized. You should love and be able to work with the people that you want to, and you should be able to participate in markets without fear of censorship and exclusion. This is the bedrock of the revolution that is cryptocurrencies. And none of this means anything if we hand all those things to legacy actors. I have nothing against the legacy actors. They have shareholders. They're businesses. They have to behave in no other way. Their whole point is to maximize their value and enhance their competitiveness. And if that means they enter our industry to do that, they're going to do that the same way they enter any industry. Embrace and extinguish and use every advantage they have. Regulatory arbitrage, domain expertise, the heavy hand of markets, all kinds of things to control that. We tried to get away from it. 2008 was a pretty terrible time for a lot of us, and so many people got hurt and victimized. And the whole message of Satoshi is we can do something a little different, and we can be different. And I like to remind people that that's not a guarantee just because somebody writes some code. The meta means more than the actual. And the meta is the infrastructure, the owners. The meta is the technology that we embrace and how that technology works together. And the closer we get back to the legacy, the more we start realizing we've lost control. So just a cautionary tale, something, guys, to think about. Thanks for listening. Cheers.